Hello, you okay? Yes, a little bit later than I thought, but I was just preparing something for you. You know how it is, where it always takes longer than you think. Hope you're doing okay. And I'm excited because it's 1st of October. I thought that with kicking off October, I thought that I would give you something that I think that you will have a lot of fun with, particularly if you are struggling to think about things that you want to doodle or want to try. And I think it would be a good motivator to have you do some doodles or some sketches or exercises that you could do every day or weekly. And it's called Inktober. Inktober rather. Still around as a hashtag, but it's more widely known as Drawtober. And what it is that many different artists all over social media have a list of prompts which run all through October. And the idea is that you do a drawing a day, and each day you get a different prompt. And so, say for example, day one, the theme might be tea or bonfire, and so on and so forth. And I did this back in 2017 and I had a lot of fun with it. And at the time I was in a very high pressure job and I wasn't doing anything creatively, and it really helped me to break out of that rut. I thought that it would be something that I could show you, to sort of show you that how you can get yourself going, particularly if you're not so used to drawing, or if you're starting with drawing or getting used to doodling. Thing is, it's not just confined just to Instagram. You can look up all these prompts on Google or on YouTube even. And I've got a list here, and the great thing is that there are so many different variations and so many different ways that you can do this. And I thought that this would be something for not only me to start off doing for you and show you, but to give you some, hopefully give you some ideas about where to go if you're feeling a little bit stuck. And as with everything, this is about having fun with it, mucking about, and you don't have to post these online if you're not feeling confident yet. This is about you just at home in your own space, giving it a go. So that's what it is. Okay, so I've got my list here to show you. Just get that for you, and I'll get on with it for you. Hope you enjoy. Right, here we are. So this is what you would primarily be looking up. You can find these on Google search if you like. Primarily it was always called Inktober, but it's more widely known as Drawtober. But there's many different variations of Inktober and Drawtober now. Well, we've got Mythtober, we've got Dolltober, Cozytober, so many different versions now. And that's the great thing about this, is that you can just pick one at random, or which one that you feel appeals to you more, and then get going with it. These are some artists that are over Instagram, so if you want to put at all of these different ones. But one I thought that you might really like is this one by Ella Masters. She's a illustrator, deals a lot with wellness, and she started this hashtag mindful drawing a day. This isn't a Halloweeny based one or an autumnal one. This is all about things to do with mindfulness. So it could be things to do with, like, say, a hot cup of tea, or a sweater, or falling leaves. So she is another one for you to look up. Mab Graves, I think that's how you say it, so it's two separate words, Mab Graves, but that's her name over Instagram. She was one of the first that I came across when I first discovered Inktober and Drawtober, so look her up, she's fantastic. I did pick up this one here, which was the Dolltober list that I found. I thought I was going to do this one, but this is the name of this artist who came up with this list, Mackenzie Lemoine Designs. I think that says Lemoine, I think, but that's how you spell it anyway. And the list that I'm going to do today is this one here, Dorsey, and the prompt is bonfire. So bonfire, when you think about bonfire, As I say, this does not have to necessarily be ghoulish. It doesn't necessarily have to be Halloween kind of themed. It could be anything you want. So, as I say, this is about us just being at home, not necessarily sharing with other people if you're not confident with that. It's just seeing where your mind wants to take you. And don't worry about, does this look like a fire? Does this look like a gremlin? Does this look like how everybody else thinks a gremlin or a bonfire looks like? This is just what is cooking up in your own head, your own imagination, and we're trying to put that on paper. And just like I did with the mindful doodles, you can just start from a point, any shape, any sort of squiggle you like, and just go with I'm starting in a pencil with this one because keeping in with the Drawtober kind of spirit, and I might complete it later, I don't know, but say number 1 prompt with this artist Dorsey is a bonfire. Okay, need to look up the rest of the list, but I think that's the cool part about it, is that each time is like a mystery, it's a surprise. So bonfire, what do we want with a bonfire? We want a big flame. I always like to make my fire really sort of swirly, and yeah, it's looking more like a wave at the minute. But as I say, do not worry too much about, does this generically look like a bonfire or a flame? Go with what you think it would look like and just do. Okay, no idea where this is going, but as I say, these don't need to be absolute masterpieces each time you do this. It could be a small doodle a day, and with sort of living everyday life, when you'd be going to work or you would be looking after the kids or whatnot, a lot of the time you don't really have, well, the energy to be able to fit in masterpieces each day. Some people do it, but no, it's all about fitting in with your lifestyle as well, just bear in mind. So we're talking about just doing whatever comes to mind with whatever time and resources you've got around you. You can start with pencil, go straight into pen, whatever you feel like doing. Not too happy with how I've done that curve there, it looks more like a wave, but you know, it is what it is. It's going to have all these little flames coming out of it. Yeah. I was going to say that when I was going to do Drawtober, I was going to use the Drawtober list, because I thought to myself, yeah, okay, I don't make dolls. Trust me, I would love to make dolls. I would love to make ball jointed dolls, but that is an expensive hobby. Well, all hobbies to an extent are expensive, but it's just so intricate, and I do admire the craftsmanship that goes into making those, and they are absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning, and I wish I could do that. But I thought that, okay, I don't make dolls, I don't make ball jointed dolls, but I thought maybe I could mix it up a bit and make all my characters dolls in my Drawtober. So you can mix it up a little bit if you like. Just, yeah, as I say, have fun with it. Splinters all over the show. Gonna give it some logs. Got our logs. So, is it going to be a doll character? Is it going to be a fairy? I have no idea. I'm very attracted to fairies and the fae folk at the minute. What with this weather changing and this being a time for all the fae folk and the ghouls to be out and about. Like, I am looking forward to Samhain. I do look forward to Samhain, which is the old pagan name for Halloween. Well, it is called All Hallows Eve, and it was originally called Samhain, which is said to be when the veil between this world and the other world is at its thinnest, because we are coming towards the more darker months, and so it's an ideal time for us to honour our ancestors who've gone before us. Samhain is said to be the new year for witches, and so it is a time for celebration. I definitely find it's a time for celebration, and for years I have regarded it as almost like New Year's before New Year. And I think with everything going on this year, it is like any excuse for any kind of happiness or cheer, I think, right now. So I think it will be very welcomed this year in particular, particularly when we're wishing for, well, better times ahead. Okay, so I've got my bonfire. So what is going to be going on at this bonfire? What is going to be happening? You roast a marshmallow. That's what happens. I'm not used to characters facing towards the left. I think so. There's always seems to be that generic thing where the character is always facing towards the right. I think that's a comfort thing. I think that's the direction I have all of my characters facing, and every now and then I have to remind myself, look, mix it up a bit, have them facing that way for a change. What's this little thing gonna look like? Gonna have them wearing a very fluffy, well, sort of motley coat. I've started with the body first, which I probably, well, shouldn't have done, but I'm so used to starting from the head. So, just to gauge where it's all gonna go and where the little hands and the arms are gonna go. And the great thing about this is that if you are going to include characters, I mean, say you get the prompt of bonfire, it can be just a bonfire on its own, or you can include a little character to sort of give you a story. You could do whatever you like with it. I personally like to give my little doodles some kind of a face somewhere. I think that's just me. I find it very difficult to think about drawing something where it's just an object just doing nothing on its own. Well, not doing nothing, but I like to give some kind of life to it. Just an idea of where the little feet are going. And when you are drawing, you can use reference. You can use reference. Oh, I'm going to shorten the feet up a bit. That doesn't look quite right, does it? There we go. There we go. You can use reference for any sort of doodles you do. If you are thinking to yourself, oh, I really need a picture of a bonfire to do this, then do it. If you have any comic books nearby or any kind of reference pictures nearby, or if you look up on Google, you can find whatever you're looking for, and then you can do your own spin on it, or you can copy it exactly as it is. And that's why I wanted to suggest all this for you, because I thought that if you are wanting to find something to doodle, or if you feel like you've hit a bit of a stop, I thought that this whole activity of drawing a day would sort of give you something to think about. I have no idea what my little person's going to look like. It can be an alien, it can be a little animal, it can be a doll. Do I make it a doll? Yes. Because I don't normally draw dolls. Mixing it up with the Drawtober template I found. Yeah, I do love autumn, and usually around my local way there are several schools that host bonfire nights and firework displays. And with COVID, our main huge event that we put on in my local area, which is Watford, that's been cancelled due to COVID. Not at all surprised by that, and but it is one of the big events round here, and no doubt there's going to be a lot of people disappointed about that. But, you know, better to be safe than sorry. But just thinking of it now, I do love the feel and the vibe of autumn, like with the dry leaves cracking underfoot and crunching underfoot, and the way that the pavement is all dry and yet the sky is grey and it's breezy, absolutely breezy, and there's a chill in the air, and everything about it I do enjoy, providing that you're dressed for the weather. Because if you're not dressed for the weather, it's more like an endurance. So okay, let's put this little duffel jacket on my little thing. I have no idea what this little creature is. It'll get there eventually. Do little details on there to show that it's a knitted or sewn cotton character or something, like with little stitches here and there. I think when I draw this in, I'm going to make it a lot more fluffy and textured, I think. Okay, so what else do we wear in autumn? You wear a scarf. Quick note about pencils when you're doing pencil first. I'm using an HB pencil. When you are doing these, say, with pencil first before you put down ink, I would recommend, say, something in the middle of the road like an HB, and don't, like, say, attack it. Go as gentle as you can, because otherwise if you do it really, really hard, when you've rubbed it out with the eraser, you still get the impression of that pencil mark still there. Right, what is my little person going to look like? I do not know. Oh, I think I will make it more ghoulish than I intended to. Okay, so he's going to be an owl now. I don't know if I'm happy with that, so I'm going to rub him out a bit. Excuse me while I rub this out a bit. As I say, because it's a fairly soft pencil, when you rub it out, it's not going to notice that much. Just blow it. Maybe I want to make this lower. Yeah, there we go. So we got more of a domey sort of head. So therefore it looks a bit more like some kind of a doll. The idea I've got at the minute is, say, like a Tim Burton sort of character. You know, like where they got those slanty like eyes. I think it's called The Melancholy, or what is it called? The Melancholy Tales or Life of Oyster Boy. I bought it years and years ago. It's a book by Tim Burton with the most macabre, most morbid tales you've ever seen in your entire life. But the illustrations are just so fantastic. What can I do to make him look more like a doll? Here we go. Do a little patchwork. Maybe he doesn't even need a mouth. Just where you've got that kind of sad, verging on funny kind of expression on its face. As I say, I'm sort of inspired by the whole Drawtober list I saw. Do a funny little button nose there, see? He looks a little bit more like a snowman, doesn't he? He's a snowman come early, isn't he? I don't know. Do you think this character's worked or not? But that's the cool thing, is that sometimes when I do these things for you, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But that's okay, because that's what we do when we're sketching. Because when I've tried to come up with ideas for final pieces or doodles, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, even though it's a little bit disappointing. You just think to yourself, well, you know, just try the next time. I'm trying to think, what can I blinking do to him to make him, I don't know, look more amusing for you? I don't know. I know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? No, I thought I'd come up with an idea and it turns out I haven't. Am I going to do it? I think so. Sorry, I keep changing my minds while I'm doing this. You'll realise what it is. There we go. Use a bat. Use a bat. See how he goes. I'm going to shorten his body like this. There we go. I know someone somewhere is going to moan at me saying, oh, he hasn't got any pants. But, you know, Donald Duck never had pants. I know he was banned in Finland or something because he didn't have pants, but, you know. You know, he's Donald Duck. He does what he wants. Loses his temper a lot, but apart from that, yeah, definitely one of my favourite cartoon characters as a kid. Actually, I don't think he needs the feet. Yeah, I'm going to finish this up for you in a bit. Just to... That part looked a bit rude, didn't it? Oh dear. Going to finish this up for you, and I'll see if I want to finish this piece later on, you know, ink it in a bit. But I just wanted to show you about this whole Inktober and Drawtober thing that I thought that you might enjoy. I also found some versions over Instagram which you could take part on a weekly basis if you can't fit it in every day. But I've got the list for you of all the different names and the different hashtags and the different templates, so that you could look them up online. Yeah, that is true, Stephen, I remember. Yeah, here he is, a little bat on the bonfire. There's his little feet. Yeah. He's a little doll bat. There we are. Yeah, I think I've recovered him. There we are. Yes. So, I think that just about concludes my live for you today. Okay, I'm going to show the list for you one more time. So yeah, this whole live, for those who've just joined in, this is me talking about something that you could do over October, and it's called Inktober. That's what it was first known as, but it's more now widely known as Drawtober. You can look it up over Instagram, but even if you look over Google, you can just look up Drawtober 2020. And what it does is that they are lists compiled by different artists and different people, where they encourage you to do a drawing a day with all these different prompts. And there's different variations called Mythtober, Dulltober, Cozytober, and I've got some artists here for you to look up. The list I'm doing from today is from an artist over Instagram called Dorsey, but that's the list for you. And I hope you guys have fun if you're going to take part in Inktober, Drawtober, and yeah, just have fun, muck about, and see what you come up with. So I hope you guys have a lovely Friday, and I wish you a very lovely weekend. Have fun, take care, and stay safe, everyone. Bye.